All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm really excited about today's lesson because we're going to learn how to make our first minor chord. But we're not just going to learn physically how to make it. We're going to learn why it's a minor chord. So you probably know that major chords kind of sound happy, minor chords sound maybe a little bit sad. And you probably were wondering in previous videos why I stress the importance of knowing which note when you make the chord is the third of the chord. Well, in this lesson today, we are going to reveal the answer as to why that is, because the third is the note of the chord that is going to dictate whether the chord is major or whether the chord is minor. So let's dig in. We're going to work on today, we're going to make an E major chord, which we just learned, into an E minor chord. And I'm also going to show you how to make the D major chord, which was one of the first chords we learned. I'm going to show you how to make that into a D minor chord. All right, let's start with the E minor chord. So to make this chord, the root note's the same. We've got our 6-string open E ringing out. Then the 5 of the chord is the same. It's the B note. Then we're going to double up on that E note again, which is our root. And here's where the difference is. Here's how we made this E major into an E minor is we took this G sharp note, which is the third of E, and we are going to move it that way 1 fret. We're going to flatten it by a half step or a semitone, or we can just think of it as just 1 fret, moving it that way. Well, when we make an E major chord, to move that note 1 fret, we need to just play it open. So that G sharp note becomes your open G note, and voila, you have an E minor instead of an E major. So there's your E minor chord. So we've got E, B, another E, and then your open G. Then you got your open B, and then another E. So there's your E minor in first position. Now let's look at our D chord that we learned. So we have D major and we want to make it D minor. So the formula is we find the third of the chord and we're going to move it that way by 1 fret. And that is going to make the chord minor. So using that formula, we can take our D major, we've got our root note here, our D, which we have memorized. We have our 5, which is our A, right here. Our F sharp is the third of the chord. So it needs to, instead of playing this note, we need to play that note. We need to play an F note to make D minor. So we have to rearrange our fingers. We have to have our fingers do a different job on this one to make it happen. So it's a little bit, you really have to look at what you're doing here at first to do this. So we want this F sharp to become an F. So we're going to use our first finger to make that. And then the other 2 notes are the same, but we just have to use a different finger for them. The root note can stay with this, using the same finger. Our ring finger can still make the root note. The A we're going to make now with our middle finger. And our F note we're going to make with our first finger. That's our D minor. So we took that third of the chord, which is an F sharp note, and we made it an F note. Let's take a closer look at both of these minor chords. All right, here's our closer look video for the E minor chord. We got the open E string on the root, the low E. We got a B note with your second finger on the second fret of the 5th string. We've got another E note with your third finger on the 4th string at the 2nd fret. And the rest of the strings we're playing open. That's an E minor chord. So for our D minor chord, we're going to play our root note with our 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. We're going to play our middle finger on the 3rd string of the 2nd fret. And we're going to play our 1st finger on the 1st fret of the 1st string. That's our D minor chord. All right, guys, now you see the importance of why it's so important to not only just memorize the shapes of these chords physically, how you make them, but to know the notes that you're playing to make up the chord, and to know what's the root note, what's the 3rd of the chord, and what's the 5th of the chord. That's why I stressed this to you when we first started learning the chords. That 3rd is so important because that's what makes the chord major or minor. And remember, the formula to make a major chord a minor chord is we're going to take the 3rd of the chord and we're going to lower the note by 1 fret or a half step. So we'll look at it one more time. E major, E minor, D major, D minor. We take the 3rd of the chord and we lower it a half step. Hey guys, thanks for watching my video. I hope you get something out of it. If you like the video, hit that like button and be sure to subscribe to my channel for some more guitar lessons, and I can't wait to see you next time. Thanks for watching.